Hi, welcome. This is a reading for October 9th, 2019. It's actually for the energy of all of October and is in honor of the approaching full moon on Sunday the 13th. I ask that this reading be for the highest good, protected by the highest good, and for us to learn and grow in what we need to know moving forward. Okay, so the Death card, first card. Very Scorpio, very Pluto. Pluto just went direct October 3rd, and Pluto is death and rebirth. In dream symbolism, death doesn't actually mean someone's going to die. It just means that the energy is going to transmute and change forms. So that can be as scary as it's happening, but then the rebirth that comes from it can be beautiful. So there may be an ending in your life right now. There may have been an ending. And now you're going to... Well, there may be some grief that needs to be happening right now, and that is okay because the reach of grief is the same polar opposite as the reach of love. So just know that as hard as it can be when waves of grief hit, that it's honoring love, and I see it as love being embedded within your soul. So, and if you're not grieving, I mean, this can be as simple as just you're transforming something within, or a circumstance is changing. Okay. So, Six of Wands. There's going to be some travel and something new that springs from this. And Wands is fire, so this death card may be representing something no longer serving you being burned away. And then there's this hopeful, confident outlook of the Six of Wands. You know, he's riding the white horse, he's fairly confident, and he's moving forward. So there's going to be forward movement. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles, so yay. Some forward movement within your manifestation, within the earthly realm. So wow, that's just like a really beautiful setup for death and rebirth. I mean, October is a very heavy Scorpio time, even though it's Libra season. The sun doesn't move into Scorpio until the end of the month. However, Mercury is there now. And then Pluto rules Scorpio, so Pluto going direct in Capricorn influences the Scorpio energies. That's why we're feeling that. And then Saturn going direct in September, it's catching up to Pluto slowly. And Saturn rules Capricorn. So look, there's just been a lot of intensity this year. And for whatever that's worth, there's going to be, I would say maybe this is like the beginning of October, and then the middle where we're at coming to, perhaps after the full moon, and then there's just this brand new beginning. The Ace of Pentacles is just new beginnings. And it's a good sign that there's going to be some stability coming in. I feel like there's really been a lot of chaos and a lot of things being rearranged. So just whatever darkness you're confronting, or even dark night of the soul for some of you, just hang on to the fact that prosperity and, the rebirth is coming, the death, the rebirth. Okay, this card wants to come out, Temperance. I really need to get a better setup and lighting situation here. I'm just working with what I have because I know me, and that if it's not absolutely perfect, I won't do it. So I'm just doing it to do it, and then hopefully it evolves into what it needs to be. So with Temperance, that's how do we find balance? It's also the Alchemist, and there's this very loving feminine presence of, I get stillness and patience from this card. Remembering to call on guides and angels to be able to find balance. Fire and water. So Pluto is the subconscious and fire is a transformative agent. So how do we use fire to, bring up whatever is in the subconscious holding us back, or that needs some healing, or just some consciousness, and transmute that into something that can serve us. And then there's also this little eye up above. So just remember that presence and spirits is with you, it's watching you. And really what I'm pulling from this card right now is that remember to ask. Angelic, because we have free will, angels and guides are never going to interfere. Divine intervention is pretty rare from what I know. But if you ask for assistance, it'll show up. So you have to remember to ask. And that's what is coming up with that. So then Hanged Man reversed. A little bit more frustration and delay with whatever's happening. And then the Knight of Swords. So to me, the Knight of Swords is going to cut through whatever this struggle is, that's especially needing some patience to transmute it. The Knight of Swords just looks determined. So again, we have, the Six of Wands. He's on his horse moving forward, and then under the, new beginning, we have this very determined, very focused king. So inner masculine authority, ready to move forward. So with this, I would just warn to be careful of being too maybe brash, or trying to cut this situation down. Did I say the Hanged Man was reversed? It's not reversed. I did a reading earlier and it was reversed. That's why. So forgive that. So that actually fits a little bit more. So we've got the Temperance, finding balance, and then having patience. And then with the Knight of Swords, be careful not to try and get too far ahead of yourself too fast. Know that inner authority is going to show up for you to move through and start this new beginning, but at the same time, don't be too brash or act too fast. What else needs to come through for this? I like that Temperance is feminine and the Hanged Man is masculine. So again, these could represent people in your life. I more see them as the inner, either masculine or feminine. So I feel like this is asking for this internally, whether you're male or female. The Temperance is really asking us to find some inner harmony. So how can you find inner harmony with your inner feminine? And then the Hanged Man, you know, it's like it's asking to let go of the old. And there really needs to be some reflection. So it's like first we have to find the balance internally, and then how can we reflect? Instead of taking action, how can we reflect on what needs to happen moving forward? And also find surrender. So the upside down, the Hangman, you know, his whole world's upside down. And, you know, looking at it in like a yoga principle, all the blood is going to be rushing to the head, right? So it's just offering this new perspective. And when he comes down, all that blood's going to flow back into the feet and the whole body is going to be replenished. So within looking for internal balance, how can there be a surrendering to the higher good of what's going on right now? And then originally I got a really good feeling from the Knight of Swords that he's just going to really provide this mental strength needed this month. And at the same time, just maybe slow down the thoughts, slow down. Like harbor the inner strength and know that when the time comes to cut through things, that'll be there for you. But just be careful to not act impulsively or too soon before these things are cultivated. Okay, this card wanted to come out. Two of Swords reversed. It's a very, she's blindfolded. She has, the swords are at like, there's two opposing forces in the unconscious. And, I don't know, there might be a block here in feeling just like, again, I would say that fits in with the Knight of Swords being like, don't be too overconfident, okay? And maybe, be extra mindful to keep your eyes open and pay attention to subconscious symbols coming to you, because this card is very lunar and there's water, you know, and then the swords is very mental and even conflict driven. So just a reminder to slow down, don't be too overconfident, don't move too fast, and really keep your eyes open. And the Ace of Cups, so two aces. So if we can embody the qualities of reflection and meditation and going inward to find our answers of the Hanged Man, and really using Temperance to find balance of what's out of balance, not being so in our heads, not moving too fast, not making decisions too fast. I'm really getting the message here to slow down, even if there is some travel and new perspectives that will be good for us this month or later this month. And there's just so much change. This is such a transformative time. I'm like really not surprised to get the Death card right off the bat. But then the Ace of Cups, like how beautiful, like this is a really lovely card. So Cups is of an emotional nature, so if we can not let our mind get us too far in the future in fear of maybe what our current circumstances are, or just this unknown that seems to be coming up right now, I would say that the Ace of Cups is really good symbol that, again, with the theme of new beginnings, the death and rebirth. So there's going to be a rebirth. And with the water, it's like your cup is overflowing. So doing all that internal work is going to just allow you to feel fulfilled, where your heart is just filled with so much love. You have some more to give. And then, maybe this is going to spark something creatively, or maybe it's just going to help you to have compassion for those still struggling. Like, there's so much struggle going on right now. And, the equinox to the winter solstice is a darker time than normal. So Eight of Wands reversed indicates that there's still delays, and there's a little bit of confusion and even frustration. So wanting to know, essentially, that's like, to me, wanting to know, and the resulting frustration of not knowing where all this is going. But I would recommend, if with the Six of Wands, that maybe travel, maybe go somewhere for the weekend, or go on a hike, or take a trip, and to get a fresh perspective of the Hanged Man. And this is going to help overflow, just help rebalance your emotional state. And just be mindful that if your thoughts are messing with you, to let them go, like maybe write them down and burn the sheet of paper, or put them in a safe place to hand over to your higher power. And then just honor whatever is coming up, whatever, like what needs to die in your life. Maybe that's a better question. Like, what is begging to die? Because in nature, everything is a cycle, right? So we're like seeing the leaves change and the flowers die in the fall in the northern hemisphere. But the root of the tree doesn't die. It just buries into the ground deeper. And then there's going to be new life that springs. So have faith that new life with these Ace of Pentacles, there's going to be a manifestation in your life of new birth, and also within your emotional sphere. So this is really beautiful. Just don't let the frustration of it not being here quite yet get to you. And just remember the Temperance card. So that's the energy for October. I hope this was helpful to someone. I am still practicing and learning, so I'm definitely open to feedback, constructive feedback. And I'm not sure how this channeling is going to evolve. Right now I'm thinking that I'm going to do these readings. Hold on, I'm still shuffling to draw from the oracle cards that I have. But while I'm doing that, I'm just kind of talking to you and letting you know that I think what's going to happen for now, what I'd like to happen is doing on the full moon, it's a time of release and purging. So, and then I am really in tune with the collective as the full moon glows. And I'm also very lunar. So I'm thinking some of my gifts have to do with tapping into this lunar potential. And I have a 12th house sun, so kind of behind the scenes here. And 12th house is still very mystical, Neptunian, psychic. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is that I'd like to offer a tarot card reading for the collective on the full moons, and then on the new moons offer some kind of meditation to go within and clear the space and open up to whatever seed you want to plant within. So I think that's what's happening right now. Anyways, what do these oracle cards want to tell us? I am the dreamer of my dream. Oh, that's so beautiful, because Pluto going direct, Pluto rules the subconscious, and that's where our dreams are. And they're in there. And then, that quote's coming to me. Do you remember that movie, A Beautiful Mind? Like, for our nightmares to exist, we have to feed them. And for our dreams to exist, we have to feed them. So what can you do to feed your dreams? And then also I've been getting the message that it's such a Plutonian time. Pay attention to symbols either showing up in your dreams, like get a dream journal and write them down, and then notice what messages are coming through. And then if you don't really recall your dreams, you can just pay attention to symbolism in your reality. So are certain numbers keep coming across your path? Are there colors? Are there animals? Like, it could be as simple as what color is the car in front of you. I mean, it can all break down symbolically. And if you need any help with that, feel free to reach out to me, because in my early 20s, I've kept numerous dream journals, and I'm just, I've always been fascinated with sleep and dreams, and then more so now meditation. But the symbolism is there. I put up a video, maybe I'll link to it, about imagination. And there's this whole idea that healing is possible when we can go within and restructure traumatic memories, because the subconscious doesn't know what's real or not real. So for whatever that's worth or helps anyone, okay, I surrender to a power greater than me. Such a great message for fall and for the energies right now. Like, there is a lot going on, and there's a lot of good. I'm not saying don't deny the good and don't be grateful for what you have, but at the same time, this is intense energy. So in those moments of struggle, or just wanting to be too brash, like that Knight of Swords, just remember the Hanged Man. I am surrendered, and there is a wisdom in spirit that, if I can co-create, is present. Again, remember to ask for the assistance from angelic sources, and the sun will rise again. And then I'm told, my fearless freedom lights up the world. So that's really beautiful. Ooh, fearless freedom. Fearless freedom. So some good questions to contemplate would be, what is freedom to you individually? And how can that light up your world and the world around you? It says fearless freedom, so again, how can we trust something bigger than us to not get sucked into too much fear that happens when it gets a little darker or a little scarier, or there's something that needs to transform within, without. It's all a mirror. Okay, so I'm just going to pull one last animal card to wrap it up. That's the card that jumped out at me. I'm laughing because it's the leopard. So there, it looks like there's a white snow leopard with a shadow. And again, Pluto. It says the symbology of this is stealth, strength, and purity. And I don't quite know what to say about this card other than that, like, I'm entranced by the beauty of it, and also there's like this card just asked for this reverence, you know, like, I respect this card, I respect this animal. It could take me down if it wanted to. And just like Pluto in the death card, but then there's also this deeper purity that comes from letting go of what needs burned away, of what needs to be devoured. So with that, let this Pluto transit going forward and the rest of October just surrender whatever needs to let go, you need to let go of, or whatever needs to come to an end, so that you can find inner balance and move into a new beginning in the physical world and within your emotional world. And just remember to keep that tether to your own higher self as you navigate through the rest of this October. So thanks for tuning in, and blessings to all, and be well.